Okay, so Bitcoin is currently fighting its biggest opponent that it has fought in the last couple of years. That's the 200-week moving average. And you can see that Bitcoin has tested it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, but hasn't broken through this. When we break through this, even the biggest naysayers are going to have to change their tune and actually get onto the bull train with us, the one that we've been on since 17,000. But the real action is actually not here. The real action is actually not at Bitcoin. The real action is actually here. Because when you look at the bubbles today, if you're smart, you are picking up a trend in these bubbles. What do all these tokens have in common? CFX, NEO, Huobi token, WeMix, even OKX, VET. What do they all have in common? The answer is very simple. These are all Chinese tokens. They're all tokens that are being pumped by Asia. And so today what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the next tokens that are going to be pumped by Asia. And I've got a list of at least 5 tokens that are going to be pumped by Asia in the next 24 hours. So you need to tune in and you need to listen to the end because that's when the alpha is coming. Let's get out of bed, guys.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
Okay, if you're Asian, then just in the chat, just say present, because I need to know if our Asian community is here and present, because today is actually all about you guys and this pump that you're causing on the markets, because we started talking about the Asian pump about 2 weeks ago. No one believed us. They all faded us. They all faded us like they faded the pump. And today you can see that the Asian pump is actually in full force. Now, dealing with an Asian pump is actually very difficult. It's not the same as dealing with a Western pump, where you can go onto the normal Twitter accounts and you can listen to normal YouTube accounts and you can get the alpha. The thing is, when you're dealing with an Asian pump, you need to think like an Asian. You need to act like an Asian. You need to be Asian. You even may need to have an Asian girlfriend. If you want to really enjoy the Asian pump, you need to have an Asian girlfriend. So this show is all about the Asian pump and how to pick up Asian girlfriends. This is what we're going to be talking about in the show. So yeah, it's going to be, you do. If you want to really have an Asian pump, you need an Asian girlfriend, bro. That's how it works. You know what I mean, James. I know you know what I mean. All right, let's do what we do. I do what I do. You do what you do. I'm going to bring you one of the best shows I've ever done in my life. Change in the comments. Just change the respect the pump to say respect the Asian pump, because not everybody understands where this pump is coming from. Actually, this weekend, I was arguing with actually a good account on Twitter. I don't know if you guys know the account of 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗓. You know that account, 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗓. So I said to 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗓, I said this is the next bull run. 2,108 people believed me, but 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗓 came out. And actually, I really like the 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗓 account, I must say. 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗓 came out and said, is this an independent crypto bull market, or is this all markets? If former, then you're stating that a massive decoupling. Is that correct? I said, 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗓, you're watching the Western markets. This is driven by Asia. And then 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗓 said, like, you know, if you just read my headlines, I'm like, no, 𝗦𝗶𝗽𝗍𝗓, I don't think you understand. We've been reporting on this for 2 weeks. The pump is actually coming from Asia. Not many people respect the pump because not many people understand that the pump is actually coming from Asia. And we have to learn how to trade Asian pumps. We have to learn how to trade Asian pumps. That's what today is about. Today, we're going to show you the narratives. We're going to show you the Asian coins that are running. I'm going to show you a couple of coins that could run in the next 24 hours. It's going to be huge fun. So what do? You smash the like and you subscribe to the channel. We have now got 600 and how many, Josh, how many subscribers on the channel? 605,000 subscribers. That means that we have more. We are the fastest growing channel right now. I can tell you that much. We're also the only channel that really caught this Asian pump narrative while others were sleeping. You see, so we have 605,000. By the way, if you didn't watch Sheldon's show, go and watch Sheldon's show. He's got a theory about the L1s, and we're going to talk about that. All All right, let's go. If you're here, let me know that you're here. Say you're present. BK Bender, if you're here, say present. Charles Z, if you're here, say present. General 𝗪𝗁𝗏𝗀𝗏, I can see you here. Banter Girl, my darling, how are you? Nice to see you. Just say present if you're actually here. Benny Lyons is here. I can see Benny is here. All right, we have a full class today. So let's go. Smash up the like. If we get 2,000 likes today, I give away a watch on the show. And it's not like I draw the name from a list. I'm going to just give it away live on the show. So go. Let's talk about this. We've got a big show today. We've got a lot to talk about. Let me just show you some of my trades from the weekend. So I opened a Solana long. I'm going to open a bigger long on Solana. I am $395 down on that Solana. My algo is back at zero. My blur. So I'm up about $31,000 on this blur trade that you guys, remember the whole lot of people telling me to actually sell the blur trade. And I said, I'm holding the blur trade. Anyway, I'm now up about, you see, I took about $15,000 in profit this weekend. Still got about $16,000 here in profit. So I'm still holding that blur trade. I'm going to show you why I'm holding the trade. For those of you who were laughing at me and told me to close the position, you know what I've got to say to you guys now.
You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
You're not laughing now. $32,000 in one trade. Immutable X, still holding that position. I'm a bit disappointed that it's come down. My injective position was up like 10 grand yesterday, back down to entry price more or less. And my near position now $3,110. In fact, I want to show you one of my other accounts because I think my other account maybe is a little bit more fun. Let me quickly just log out of this account. And I'll show you one of my other accounts or one of my other trades. Bones, congratulations. Your son was born today. Great. You can call him 𝗔𝗍𝗵𝗵 if you want. So it's a good day if you want to call your son something. Hold on. Let me just get some of my other authenticators on, and then I'll show you my other account. My other account, actually, one of my other accounts, actually where all the fun is happening. You wanna see the fun. So let's quickly just hold on a second. What's going on here? Hold on. Problem is, okay, hold on. Let me log out of this account and I'm going to log into the other account. I'm going to show you guys some of my trades that I've taken recently, which you were all laughing at me. And today you're not laughing at me anymore. Well, I hope you're not laughing at me, because if you are, you're going to get wrecked. A lot of people are going to get wrecked because they don't believe this pump. All right, let me just try and, okay. For some reason, this is not working. Hold on a second. Okay, we're going to have to log on to this account in a few minutes because right now it's not working, but we will work and I will show you one of my other accounts. All right, so here we are with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, you see this line over here, the red line is the 200-week moving average. As you can see, it's hitting. In fact, let me show you the hourly chart. The hourly chart actually makes a much more compelling case. So you can actually zoom in and you can see how many times Bitcoin has tested that 200-week moving average since the 16th of February. So once it just touched the line, then it broke through the line once, then it just touched the line, then just missed, then it just went through the line. And now here we are again, 24,921. You can see Bitcoin is battling what is its biggest opponent. It's the biggest, I mean, this opponent has actually only been breached once, twice from the downside. And now Bitcoin is fighting to do it again. So there's a big battle going on here. And I think that every time we chip away at this, down all the resistances, they crumble like they melt like butter. And then once that happens, then the thing is that you can see that the next level for Bitcoin is at around 30,000. So there's like a little resistance here, baby resistance at 28,000. And then the next resistance is 32,315. So we need to break it. I think we're going to break it. I think it's just a case of a couple more, a couple more hits. But actually, the real fun is not on Bitcoin today. There are a couple of other things you need to look at. The first thing is the Dixie got rejected. So remember we said that the one trend line we don't want the Dixie breaking is this trend line over here. It got rejected by the trend line. Now it's under the trend line. So that's another good sign. And then the other good sign for us is that dominance is still above 44, which means that there's going to be a shift from Bitcoin back into the altcoins. When that happens, we're going to know which altcoins to be buying, right? So it's not just altcoins. You need to know which altcoins to be buying if you want to trade this one well. So I looked at the bubbles today. And if you look at the bubbles, I told you, there's one narrative here that's pumping. China, 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 China. All the biggest movers today, CFX, Chinese coin, OKT, Chinese coin, Huobi token, Huobi exchange is a Chinese exchange. Yes, of course, now they moved out of China because of the legislation, but it's a Chinese exchange. NEO, the 2016, 2017 Ethereum killer is pumping today. If this doesn't tell you that there's an Asian narrative going on, then I don't know what to tell you. So today we're going to be exploring that Asian narrative. Now, for those of you who have explored the Asian narrative before, just let me know in the comments if you've had an Asian girlfriend, because I need to know how many of you have actually been with an Asian woman. So if you have been with an Asian girlfriend, or girls, if you've been with an Asian guy, just put in the comments so we know who's explored the Asian narrative before and who hasn't explored the Asian narrative before. They're going to ban the show from YouTube. They're going to ban this. I can see what's going to happen here. They're going to ban the show from YouTube. All right, so let's quickly take stock of where we're at. We are here. Bitcoin had the second biggest January that it's ever had since its inception. You can see in 2013 it had a 44%, but in all the other years we've never had a 39.63% in Jan. We had it. Now we're up 7.55% in February. So looking good so far. And as we continue to go up, more of the haters, more of the people that don't believe this rally, because there is a whole contingent actually of people that are salty, that didn't believe this rally. They did not believe this rally. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, okay, so for those of you who have explored the Asian narrative, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. If you've had an Asian girlfriend or boyfriend in your life, I can just say to you,
Much honor.
You know what I mean. All right, so stop it, guys. This is an adult show. So there is, we've been watching this Wall Street cheat sheet, and everybody's got their version of the Wall Street cheat sheet, and how we're getting to this point over here. And the truth is that the more we go up, the more we invalidate that thesis. So you can see we're already starting to invalidate that thesis. In fact, I redrew that chart, and you can kind of see, like, okay, if we were following that thesis, we would have come down here, but we haven't. We continue to go up here. We continue to go up here. We continue to print higher highs. There's a higher high. There's another higher high. So we're starting to invalidate this Wall Street cheat sheet thesis, even though the Wall Street cheat sheet thesis is garbage. Why? Because if you look at the last recoveries from bear markets in 2015 and 2017 and 2018, we didn't recover like that. So, I mean, it's nice to look at, but also nice to know that we've been invalidating it. In the meantime, a lot of people don't believe, they still don't respect the pump. There's a lot of people, believe it or not, that don't respect the pump, which is a problem. We're trying to, no. If you've been with the lady boy, that doesn't count. That you don't get much honor for that. So Alex Becker, he's been fading the pump. I mean, I love Alex, and I think he makes great content. But Alex, he doesn't respect the pump. He hasn't been respecting the pump, and he hasn't been respecting the pump for a long time. He said, look, the rally looks about done to me. That was yesterday. I said to him, but sir, you've been saying that since 19,000. He says, yeah, we will see. I said, no, actually, we are seeing it now. It's not, we will see. We actually are seeing now. He has been disrespecting the pump for a long time. He said, for the record, I absolutely 100% believe this is a bear market rally, and this is the most dangerous bear market rally that will hurt the most people. This is the last wave up and literally designed to cause max pain. But that was a month ago. So he has been fading the pump. He's still bearish. I love Alex, and I think his content is amazing, but in this case, I think he's wrong. Meanwhile, a lot of traders are starting to go short. So we see the long-short ratio. So far, the longs still outnumber the shorts. The blue is the longs. The orange here is the shorts. And the blues are still outnumbering the shorts. Now, the reason why this is happening, the reason why I'm so confident is, as I said to you before, we're at a 439-day bear market, which is quite a long bear market. That's enough to shake out all the weekends. But on top of that, we also had a whole lot of black swans in our bear market. We had, Three Arrows Capital, Luna, BlockFi, FTX, all of those things collapsed. And what happened in that time frame is that 60% of the Bitcoin became, so 60% of all Bitcoin were transferred to addresses that have been holding for at least a year. Now that means that the coins moved into the hands of retard degen holders who are not selling at any price. And right now, those guys aren't selling and the market's starting to go up. So that's pretty much what's happening. Now, today is a holiday in the United States. So if you're in the United States, well, happy President's Day if you celebrate. I don't think anyone celebrates that, but the day off is a day off. So let's take the day off. But it is quite a big week. So I'll tell you why it's a big week in the United States. So the first reason is we have got the jobless claims coming here on Thursday. So jobless claims, remember, is important because if we have a high jobless claim, that's good. Well, it's good and bad, because good means that the Fed won't be tightening as much. If we have a low jobless claims, then the Fed will have this license to keep tightening. And remember, we had inflation surprises to the upside. So we are worried that the Fed is going to continue to tighten much more than we think. Then on Thursday, we get the Q4 GDP, which is big because you want to see if the economy is growing. And then on Friday is the most important day. We get the PCE inflation data. Now remember, PCE is the inflation data that the Fed is monitoring because it removes energy and food and all those things that fluctuate. So that happens on Friday. That is expected to disappoint. So I was doing a whole lot of research. I see that the PCE numbers are expected to be 5%. Okay, that's the forecast. I think they're going to disappoint. So on Thursday we will get, it's Friday, not Thursday. We're going to get we're going to get the PCE data, and that will dictate whether the Fed hikes aggressively at the next interest rate meeting. Now, there's already a 20% chance that the Fed hikes by 50 basis points instead of 25 basis points. That's what the market is starting to price in very slowly because of the inflation misses and everything else. So we need to pay attention this week, specifically on Friday. We have to pay big attention to the markets because when that PCE data comes out, we could get a pump or we could get a dump. And it all depends. It'll all come down to this chart over here in terms of what the market is forecasting. Now, that is what's happening in the West. In the West, the US is tightening. The US is increasing interest rates. The US is trying to slow down the economy. That is what's happening in the West. But in the East, where the Asians live, in Asia, the narrative is completely different. Now, the problem is that if you are like wifey and you are watching the S&P, then you think that there's a massive decoupling happening in crypto. But if you're watching the Asian markets, then you will notice that actually in Asia, they are having the opposite of the United States. So while the US is quantitative tightening, while the US is trying to slow inflation, while the US is raising interest rates, while the US is limiting the amount of loans that people get because they're trying to slow down the economy, in Asia, it's very, 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 very different. And, you know, we've been talking about the fact that this pump is actually coming from Asia for a long time. We picked it up on the 9th of January when GCR tweeted this tweet, and he said, I believe that China and Asia in general will fuel the next run. That's when we broke that news for you. He said, we're actually following this. We actually believe it. What we're seeing now is that this thing is actually playing out, and it's playing out both from the fundamentals and the pumpamentals. So it's like a lethal combination of fundamentals and pumpamentals that's happening at the moment. The fundamentals go as follows. The US is tightening. The US is increasing interest rates. The US is taking money out of the market. They're shrinking the Fed's balance sheet. But not China. China is putting money into the economy at the moment. In fact, here's some numbers for you. So on Friday alone, 3 days ago, the Chinese central bank injected $92 billion into the market on one day. Now, that is the same amount of money that the Fed is trying to take out of the US economy in 1 month. So as China opens its gate today, okay, as China opens the floodgates today, the US is tightening. And no matter how much the US is tightening, China is basically countering that in 1 day. Now, you can see that this is in the last, since April 2022, the Fed has taken $581 billion off the balance sheet, basically out of the economy. In China, in 1 day, they put $92 billion into the economy. So it's only so long that the US can continue doing this. Not only that, in China, while the US is limiting the bank loans that people can get because they want to slow down the economy, this is what happened in China in terms of bank loans. Look how many more bank loans. The Bank of China gave 3 times or 4 times as many bank loans in January as they did in December. They are very, very, very serious about opening up the economy and putting more money into the economy. And that's why we keep saying that this pump is actually not a Western pump. And if you're still following Western Twitter accounts, if you're still following Western narratives, you ain't going to make money in this pump. You ain't going to make wife-changing money. You ain't going to find yourself an Asian wife. If you want to find yourself an Asian wife, you need to trade Asian narratives. You need to appreciate that the pump is actually coming from China. It's not coming from the West. And it's a combination of, as I said to you, a couple of things. Fundamentals, China loosening policy, China putting more money into the economy, China opening up the COVID trade and actually stimulating a whole lot of demand. That's one thing. Then we've had news from Hong Kong that Hong Kong is now opening itself to crypto. It's legalizing crypto, not only for institutions, but actually they came out with an announcement that they are legalizing they're legalizing crypto for the retail sector. So they can also trade the larger Asian tokens. And if you read this announcement, this is quite a good announcement. What you can see is that they're making tokens available. They're making indices also available to retail investors and making it available to institutional investors. So what they're trying to do is, if you think about China, China now well in control of Hong Kong, maybe not officially, but they're well in control of Hong Kong. Now, China has this thing where they don't want to miss out. So what do? They create one of their territories as a crypto-friendly territory, and that crypto-friendly territory is becoming Hong Kong. It's just like in China, gambling is not allowed. It's not permitted in most provinces. But if you go to Macau, Macau is like Las Vegas. I've been to Macau. I went to check it out. And what you can see when you go to Macau is that Macau is actually a duplicate of Vegas. But the degen Asians in Macau actually, I went to try and play a blackjack. And I'm not a gambler. I tried to play blackjack. And the lowest table was like $200. Now, I don't want to go and play $200 blackjack. But in China, that's what the guys do because they're an absolute bunch of degens, okay? So now, what they did in Macau, they're now doing with crypto in Hong Kong. And they're saying, look, it's in Hong Kong, it's legal. It's legal for you for retail to participate in crypto. And it's legal for companies to be formed that do crypto, and it's legal for institutions to buy crypto, not just tokens, but also indices. A quick look at crypto indices, I know off the top of my head, and you can see the tokens that are in these indices. So there's a race now because now they realize that Hong Kong is opening up, and it's actually a proxy for, I'm going to show you my trades. Don't worry, at the end of the show, I'm going to show you my trades. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Mainly good though, mainly very, very, very good. People say you should see the horse racing in Hong Kong. I've been there. I've been to Happy Valley Racecourse. And if you go to Happy Valley, you see these are a bunch of degens. So now let's look at who benefits. So Huobi makes an announcement today that they are applying for a license to trade in Hong Kong. Let's look at what happened to the Huobi token today. Oh, look, up 20%. What a surprise. You see, it was at $5.14. Announcement comes out. Now it's at $6.30. You see, same thing with OKX. OKX also jumping on the bandwagon, also saying we are working on getting 15 licenses globally in different jurisdictions, including Hong Kong. What happened to the OKX token? Bang. You can see what happened. There we go. Was it 25? Now it's 32. You see, so you can see that this narrative is actually waking up big time. This China, Hong Kong narrative, and you got to follow. You have to follow this narrative. You have to follow this narrative. If you don't, you're gonna miss out. No, just what are you doing, bro?
I'm just organizing. It's the morning. We're getting it together. We're getting our trade setups right. We're planning.
Can you show me what you're organizing in your hand there? Can you just show? I was watching it in the chat here.
I'm just tightening a roll. There's a roll. It's not so tightened, and I just got to tighten a ribbon on it.
Can you show us?
Are we showing? Is it show and tell time?
Yes, show and tell, bro.
So you just got to tighten it just like this.
You can't be watching the show and rolling spliffs at the same time, bro. That doesn't work like that, bro. You got to respect. You have to respect the show. You have to respect the show, bro. All right, let's look at the Asian narrative. I mean, I think he's disrespecting the show. His face is crazy today. He's crazy. His face is crazy today. I mean, what is going on here? You got to respect the pump.
Respecting the pump, man. Respecting the pump.
Respect the pump, bro. The Asian pump.
Just stop losses.
Even though, I mean, look, you look at GCR. GCR is saying, look, while I stand by this thesis, rotation into shitcoins with the flimsiest ties to China is as forced as last week's ZK meta. As Nani said, Chinese buying coins that Americans think Chinese people would buy. Americans buying coins that Chinese people are buying. It's just another rotation. Now, you may be right, but right now, that is what's going on. Right now, what's going on is that there is a big rotation into Asian tokens. Even, I mean, I don't know how many of you remember the NEO token. Hold on, let me quickly just get the bubbles back here. I've got a big surprise for you when it comes to bubbles. We'll talk about that, but not today. Even NEO. Now, NEO is this token that has been dead since 2017. And now even NEO, which is a smart contract blockchain in China, is performing. So this pump, like it or not, this pump is real. Everyone's starting to notice it. Even 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏 came out on the weekend. I think he was about a month late, but okay. He came out on the weekend. He said, my working thesis at the moment is that the next bull run is going to start in the East. I think he should have changed that tweet to say, my next thesis at the moment is that the next bull run has started in the East. It will be a humbling reminder that crypto is a global asset class and that the West, really the US, always only ever had two options. Embrace it or be left behind. Can't be stopped. That's what we know. So he's also starting to notice that it's actually Asia that's doing it. And now what you saw on the weekend is you saw people starting to look and starting to make lists, make lists that are of Asian narrative coins. And a lot of those lists have actually taken them. And Andrew Kang, who we've been following, you see, he made a list. In his list, DOT, Filecoin, VET, CFX, Clayton, EOS, ICP, Kusama, etc. Why those tokens? Well, let's look at them. So Filecoin, did you see Filecoin this weekend? You must have seen Filecoin this weekend. If you didn't, you should be following me on Twitter. I'll show you in 1 second why you should be following me on Twitter anyway. Okay, so this is what happened to Filecoin over the weekend. Okay, you see that? Why? Because it's very simple. You just have to follow. So just this weekend, if you would have been in Filecoin, that's a weekly. It's very hard to see it on the weekly. Okay, that's what happened to Filecoin over the weekend. So why? It went from $4.69. Now it went all the way up to $9.47. So you would have made 100% on that narrative. We did call that narrative for you guys about a week ago. But what you can see, it's very, very, very similar to what happened with Aptos. Remember that the Aptos story where South Korea started to bid it up? Same thing's happening here. There's in Shenzhen in China. There on the 25th of Feb, which is in a couple of days, there is a Filecoin conference, and it's like the Aptos call. So that's why he's following Filecoin, and he says that Filecoin has a chance to become the next XRP AWS echo bubble. Okay, shilling point for Chinese flows, recognition from Westers, and a great catalyst timeline. Also, now they're launching smart contracts on March 23rd. So Filecoin is one that we've been watching. If Filecoin runs, Arweave runs. Arweave has a much tighter supply. It's got a much smaller market cap. So to me, the more interesting one is one that we hold. You know, we've been holding it since it launched in its ICO. But I think important that you look at Arweave, because Arweave hasn't had the same pump that Filecoin's had. And when it does, I think it's going to go beyond where Filecoin went. So that's one that you should be looking at. But that's not the only one. If you think about the coins that we've brought you in this Asian narrative, I actually want to show you some of the coins. So let's look at some coins that we've showed you in January. Okay, so let's look at one here. CFX. Let's look at it. CoinFlux. We have been speaking to you guys about this one since about here. 9th of January is when we first started talking about it. So if you would have bought it here, you would have made 10x on your money. This is what you would have made. You would have made 10x on your money around this Asian narrative. So you see that you would have made 12x on your money around the Asian narrative. Another one which we spoke to you guys about was ACH. It's like the brother or sister to this one. So look at this one. Also, if you look at it this year, it has come from here all the way to here, so 500%. And there's a whole lot of other ones that we've brought you. Why? Because we identified the Asian narrative early in the year, and the Asian narrative continues. And you have to participate. You have to participate. You have to get involved. You have to make yourself watch lists. I'll show you a few watch lists. So here's one watch list. This one comes from 𝗔𝗀𝗃𝗫. CFX, we've spoken about. PHP, MDT. MDT plays on two narratives. The first narrative, you go to MDT's Twitter, you see they're playing on AI narrative because it's measurable data token, and they're playing on the China narrative. Now, when that happens, let me just show you what happened today to MDT. So here's MDT, measurable data token. I guarantee you haven't looked yet, but I mean, there we go. There's the pump. Bang. You see, narratives. If you can find good fundamentals plus good narrative plus made in China or made in Taiwan, then it's good. Then you should be buying it. Actually, no, I'm not going to tell a story. This is a very bad story. A very, very bad story. The other one that ran is Clayton. So Clayton, the market, it's not a Asian, it's not a China token, it's a Korea token. And again, big narrative in Korea. We like Korean coins. We've been speaking about Korea coins. Look at, no, Matic's not part of this narrative. That's Indian. We're not talking about the Indian narrative. Not talking about it. Okay, so Clayton down for the day, but when I looked at the bubbles earlier, Clayton exploded. Let's have a look here. Okay, maybe it went up and came down. I think it went up and came down. Let's quickly look at the chart of Clayton. Clayton USDT perpetual on Binance. Let's have a look here. Yeah, you see it has actually gone up quite a bit. It actually has gone up quite a bit. I don't know why CoinGecko says that. It's up 87% in one day. I think that's quite a good pump. You see? Someone says tell the story. I'll tell the story later. So there's a whole lot of different ones. Astar plays into the dot narrative. Dot and Asia, which is very, very good. Very, very good. Dot is very much an Asian token. Remember, we spoke about where are all these dot developers? Because remember, in every developer report, we always hear that dot has the most developers. But in the West, we don't really see dot applications. But that's because the developers are actually in Asia for dot. So the developers are sitting in Asia. And so dot is very much one of these tokens. Now, dot also had a bit of a pump today. It hasn't pumped as much as it needs to pump, actually. It probably needs to pump a whole lot more. I want to show you. Let's quickly go to dot. Probably needs to pump a whole lot more. They, though, were actually declared not a security by the SEC. So finally, dot is actually declared a software product by the SEC, which is good. Okay, so measurable data token, as I said to you, measurable data token ticks multiple boxes. Why? Because it's Asian plus it is AI. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oasis protocol, another one that hasn't pumped as much as it should, but I mean, I think this is quite like reaching for straws when you say, you know, Dawn Song is actually Asian with Chinese connections. Maybe you're right. Sandbox, another one that is very popular. In fact, Japan is pushing it. Injective protocol, one of my positions actually. Let me show it to you in a second. It is one of my positions in my portfolio. Let me try and log in again. Hopefully I can log in. If I can log in, I can show you. Okay, there, that should work. I don't know why it's being so horrible today. Okay, hold on. No, I think the verification succeeded. Okay, it's asking me for a login. I can finally show you this portfolio. And we can spend some time going through it. It's quite a good portfolio. Okay, so it's logged in now. Yeah, it's logged in now. Okay, we'll go back there. So Injective is another one that's being touted big time in Asia. Big time in Asia. Big time. Mob, another one. Astar, as I said to you, Astar is the most popular layer one in Japan at the moment. It's very popular in Asia. Now, Astar hits on two narratives. It's the dot narrative, and because it's a parachain on dot. So it hits on two narratives, this one. This one is very, very, very good because it hits on two narratives. There's a Chinese metaverse with, it's called HAI. This one came from Dark Lady Crypto. So Leverify, this is another one that is trading actually on Binance. They came out with an announcement earlier today that they're actually working. So let's quickly read their Medium announcement. It says, we are happy to share that Leverify has taken a major step forward in our vision to build innovative decentralized finance services in Hong Kong and China growth expansion plans. You see now, they're all capitalizing on the narrative. And if you look at what happened to Leverify, here we go. I think it probably had a pump. Okay, so you see, we had a 20% pump here. We had a 20% pump here. You see that? So bang, 20% pump. So you got to keep your eyes on this one. This one, the announcement only came out like pretty recently. I bought some on the announcement. So if you want to capitalize on this narrative, there's a few things you need to do. First thing you need to do, you need to follow the right accounts. Okay, you need to follow the right accounts. You want to follow the right accounts. I'm going to make it super, super, super easy for you. I'm just going to find a tweet here. Give me a second. And let me go here and bang. Hold on. Just make sure that this tweet is a tweet. Hold on a second. Why am I missing? I'm missing one. Hold on a second. Okay, so if you want to follow the right accounts, go to my Twitter now. I'm going to tweet this tweet now. Here are all the accounts that I am following for this Asia narrative. I'm going to put it for you into one tweet. How many likes are there, Josh? How many likes are there? They're 1.4K likes. So when we get to 2,000 likes, then I'm going to just hit send on this tweet. Yeah. Okay. When I get to the right amount of likes, I'm going to just hit send on this tweet. 2,000 likes. I'm going to hit send on this tweet. Then you've got all the different high alpha accounts that I'm following when it comes to the Asian narrative. Now, it's quite hard to work with these because you need to use the translate button quite a bit. Like you see, like you have to keep translating. See, you see the tweet like that. You see the $INJ. You press translate. You know exactly what they're talking about. So I've narrowed it down for you, and I've just given you guys the ones that I like, the ones that really give you alpha. The second thing that you need to do, you can join a list. So now I'm following a list. On this list, there are 12 members. This list comes from Joe the Irishman. So it's the _man. Okay, he's our researcher. Okay, that's a list, and you can make a list of all the Chinese alpha, and you can keep this because it's a list. Because it's a list on your Twitter, it actually lives over here. You see, so because it's a list, what you'll see, that doesn't kill your timeline with all these Mandarin tweets. You see that. The last thing that you can do is we'll share this watch list with you of all the Chinese tokens, but you can see we keep populating this list with all the China narrative tokens. Now you can see just today, CFX up 30%, MDT up 20%, ACH, Lever also going up today. It's still just made the announcement. Key 40.31, VET up 11%, QTIM up 15%. This is the Asian narrative. Now what we'll do is we'll share this at the bottom after the show. We will put in fact, James, you can put it here now. This is the list that we're going to share with you. See, we just want to share with you. So let me just send it to James. Okay, James will put it into you now have access to this list, and you can watch all the Asia tokens that we are watching as well. Cool. So you know what to do. Have we got 2,000 likes yet? Can I hit send on this tweet? 1.6. I can't sell it for that amount of money. Can't sell it. Too cheap. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway. So here is a list of all the Asian accounts that we're watching at the moment to get the alpha. It's on my Twitter. Go to my Twitter and get it. Go and get it. All right, let's move on. Lots more to talk about. The other narrative which we want to talk about today, I don't know if we're going to get time to do it full justice, is what Sheldon said earlier on his show. I don't know if you watched 𝗔𝗍𝗫 show earlier. It was this show over here. Sheldon's on fire. He's on fire. His calls have been on absolute fire. So he did the show. He spoke about Solana. It was about Solana, but not actually about Solana, because he actually brought in a layer one narrative. And what you're seeing now is that the layer ones are actually starting to go. So you saw my trade on NEAR was up a lot. Solana, I'm in the money. and my Avalanche trade actually came in. And you can see that there's a narrative of L1s. So DOT exploded because the SEC changed it from being considered a security to being considered an SEC compliant software in the United States. That's quite big. That's a big move. That's the SEC giving like a thumbs up to DOT. Solana's about to explode. It has already exploded, but I think there's more left here. There's more in the tank here. As Sheldon said, if Solana does break this $28 level, then you see there's only air after that. So the levels for Solana are like break 28, which is here. Then it goes up to 38, and then 38, 49, and then the next level is $145. So keep your eyes on Solana. That's one that's moving. You can see the volumes are up a lot. Also, 𝗟𝗲𝗃𝗀 noted that there was a massive breakout of the Sol ETH chart. So this is the Sol ETH chart. There was a massive breakout of the Sol ETH chart. So I think, look, Sol maybe needs to have more time in the sun. Maybe needs to have more time in the sun. All right, so that's that. Let's talk about Blur. I want to talk about Blur because a lot of you told me to sell my Blur. And I said to you, I'm not selling it. I sold half. I'm still in the money. As you saw, I made $30-something thousand on that one trade on Blur. And the reason why I haven't faded the Blur pump is it's actually a very simple reason. I'll show you why. So there's a massive NFT narrative starting again. And I think a lot of this NFT narrative is actually sitting in Asia because of the increased liquidity that's coming into the market. But anyway, what we saw that NFTs have traded again over 1 billion. Now, the last time they traded over $1 billion in volume in 1 month was in June 2022. So what we can see is that people saying I'm still holding Blur. Once you watch this, you're going to hold your Blur for a long time. Okay, so there's over $1 billion in revenue. You can see it's growing month on month on month. The last 3 months, we've had increases in NFT volume. But now, where is this coming from? 45% of January total NFT volume comes from Blur, and 40% comes from OpenSea. So actually, in volume, Blur is doing much more than OpenSea. Now, there's over 8 million wallets that are holding NFTs on Ethereum. So this market is really, really, really exploding now. And for the last month, 2 months, 3 months, Blur is the one that is actually doing the best. So it did $100 million in the last 24 hours in NFT volume. That compared to 18.7 that OpenSea did. Now, a lot of this is obviously mining for airdrops and whatever else. Blur is also the biggest fee burner. The biggest fee usage on the Ethereum network is actually from Blur. So I saw this tweet. Very, very, very important. So the reason why Blur beat OpenSea or why is because Blur was enforcing the royalty. So you know when you mint an NFT and you then want royalties to go to the creator of the NFT, Blur was actually enforcing that. And so what happened was, because Blur started to take away all the market share from OpenSea, and you can see like here's the volume of, this is Blur versus OpenSea over here. OpenSea actually started to respond, and when they started to respond, they said, "Okay, we're also now going to implement this NFT enforcement, this royalty enforcement." So the reason why I'm bullish on Blur is because if you look at the valuation that OpenSea has, the valuation that OpenSea has is $13.3 billion. They raised money at a $13.3 billion valuation. Now, if you take the fully diluted valuation of Blur, it's $3.7 billion. So that means that if Blur's fully diluted valuation is $3.7 billion and OpenSea is at $13 billion, and right now Blur's doing better things than OpenSea, then there's no reason why Blur can't catch up to OpenSea. And that's why, for me, I'm not going to be selling the rest of my Blur position. I'm just going to be holding it. You see OpenSea panicking, saying, "Oh, we're making some big changes today on the 17th of Feb. 0% fee for a limited time. Moving to optional creator earnings for all collections without on-chain enforcement. Marketplaces with the same policies will not be blocked by operator filter." So they're starting to change their policies because they're so scared of what Blur has been doing. Yeah, so for me, holding it, not selling it at this point. Yeah. Oh, before we talk about the portfolio, we are going to talk about my portfolio now. Remember Gsloy Capital? Well, Gsloy Capital was one of the smartest investors in the bear market. He called the Luna short, and he shorted Luna all the way down, and he made quite a bit of money. Anyway, he is also shut down his fund. So they shut down the fund after they lost 40 million in FTX. He was one of the investors in FTX, and he lost $40 million in FTX, and he got wiped out. So another one of the geniuses from the 2022 bear market has been wiped. It's almost like a theme. It's like what it shows you is that it's not about making the most money. It's about being consistent and surviving. And a lot of people like Three Arrows Capital, like Suzu, like a whole lot of others who were the geniuses in the bull market got absolutely wiped out. And in fact, he closed his fund. Travis Kling closed his fund. Three Arrows Capital out of the market. The heroes are not the ones that can make the most money, but the ones that can survive the longest. The interesting thing is that he sold his FTX claims at 16 cents in the dollar, which is people are forecasting that FTX shareholders may actually get, or debt holders may actually get about 80% of their money. But he sold his I think he just tapped out and said, I want out of this. I want out of this. So let's go. All right, let's look. People are telling me that Bitcoin just broke. Oh, has it broken the line though? Let's quickly zoom in. Let's zoom in. Got to zoom right in, and we got to look on the 1 hour because that's where we're looking. And it hasn't broken. You see, it hasn't broken that 200-week moving average. In fact, it just has. It just has. So we're there. We're looking good. But the action is not where Bitcoin is. All right, I did tell you that I'd share one of my portfolios with you guys. I'm sharing it with you guys just so that I can show you my strategy. I've got to show you my strategy here. So this is one of the portfolios. So I'll show you what's in it. So the first thing is I got a sold position. I got 10,000 Solana, which I took on 10x leverage. I took that at 1356, and now obviously at 2650, I'm up $130,000, 950% return. I also made $6,578 in funding fees because so many apes were short Solana that I paid funding fees. I'm down on 2 positions. So ADA, I'm down $1,000, and Algo, I took a position before FTX collapsed, and I'm down about $20,000 in that position. Here's my Aptos short. My Aptos short is up about $10,000, $9,255. Then I have a Bitcoin position where I bought 35 Bitcoin at 19,359. And today at 25,000, that Bitcoin position is up $202,000. But I have paid some funding fees. So I'm probably up about $190,000. Then I also took a curve long. So I bought about $100,000 worth of curve. And that's up about $76,000. So I bought that at $62. It's $1. These are all the positions that I was telling you guys. This is all the positions I told you guys that I was accumulating. I got a very small Doge position at $11,000. I'm down $2,000 there. I've got a dot position from 779, and now it's going to break even. I might actually add to that dot position. Then I got a DYDX position, which I told you guys about when I got in. It was $2.25, and now it's $2.91. So I've made $32,000 there. I've got a GMX position where $100,000 worth of GMX, where I've made $124,000 there on that position. I've got a Kyber network position. I'm not worried about that. I'm sure that one's going to shoot next. I've got a big loss in there, $75,000 in there. This is pre-FTX days, and a small loss on Rune. But then I've got a Uniswap long, which has made me $5,320. And I've got a small XRP long, which is down 1.9, but I've actually taken $5,251 of profit in that position. So we'll keep monitoring this portfolio as well. It's a bit more degen. I kind of haven't showed this to you guys because I wanted you guys to be more responsible. But I just wanted to show you the power of conviction. Like I've got some big trades here. The Solana trade, 10,000 Sol. I bought it at $13. I held it, had conviction. Then, the Bitcoin long, $200,000. The Curve long, $76,000. The GMX long, $125,000. So yes, I have been holding this back from you guys because I'm not one to flash, but it's important that you see the power of conviction. The power of conviction is is super important. And I'm going to keep holding it. I want to just show you something here. One of the things that I was worried about is my funding rates. One of the things I was worried about is my funding rates. But actually, because the degens have gone long and short, I actually haven't paid anything in funding fees. So you see here, I made $6,000. Then if you add all of these up, okay, so it's 6, 5, 4, 4,000, 13. So I'm down 9. But then you see, I actually made on GMX while everyone was short. I actually made funding. So net, I've actually paid 0 funding. So I've held all these positions and I've paid 0 funding, 0 funding. You see, and I think I've probably got about, I mean, you guys can do the calculations. I've probably got about $300,000-$400,000 in profit share, maybe even more, maybe $500,000 in profit, $500,000 in profit. This portfolio was down a few weeks ago, but because the market turned, it actually went up. So it's been quite good. It's been quite good. Anyway, I'll keep updating you. I mean, I'll probably share more than I should, but you guys are the family, so keep updating you. Let's quickly look. People are saying we have broken. Yeah, we have. We've broken 25. Remember, it's a holiday in the US today. It's a holiday in the United States today. All right. Do we have 2,000 likes? We have 2,000 likes. Okay. Wow. Holy shit. That means I got to give away the Rolex. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do to give away the Rolex. Remember, if you want to win the Rolex, it's simple. You open any account with any Crypto Banter referral link on Bitget or on Bybit. If you win the Bybit watch, you are winning this limited edition blue Submariner. If you win the Bitget watch, you are winning the black one. How do you do it? Well, you go to the show. You go to this show over here, or any show, but you go and sign up with any one of our referral links, any one of the referral links. Every time you make a trade, it gets you into the competition, right? It gets you into competition. So I did say that we were going to give away a watch, and I did say that we were going to give away a watch to someone who's been watching the show. Now, how it's going to work today is slightly different. I'm going to go to last week's show. Because I'm going to last week's show. Let's go to my show last week. Let's go to this show over here. And I'm going to look for an account number of someone that watched the show last week. Let's see someone that actually watched the show last week and actually put their Bybit or their Bitget account number here. Let's see. Is there a Bybit or Bitget account number here? Did we maybe not run it on this day? Let's see. Let's take another day. Let's go to another day over here. Let's go here. This was, yeah, let's try this one. 3 days ago. I'm sure we did the Bybit and Bitget competition here. Okay, so let's quickly go to the comments. Let's find some Bybit and Bitget account numbers. Okay, I see there's not many. You know, I think just to make it fair, let's just make this fair. Go to the comments after the show and put in your Bybit or Bitget account number, but just tell us whether it's a Bybit or Bitget account number. And then what we'll do is we'll draw tomorrow, because I see that not many people actually followed the brief. So you got to go into the comments of the show after the show and put in your Bybit account number or your Bitget account number. I will select the winner tomorrow when we're back on the show. All right, so let's quickly just look at the charts again. I do see that everybody here is very excited. Be comments, not in the live chat, in the comments, guys. Okay, 25,049. We're now ahead. Let's quickly just see Solana, because I want to add to my Solana position. I wonder if this is the right time to add to the Solana position. So you can see here that Solana has just broken through this little resistance here. Should I add to the Solana position? I think I should. So let me log out of this account and log into one of my other accounts quickly, and I'll add a Solana. I'll add some to my Solana long here. So let me log out here. Let me log out. And I'll add some to my Solana position. In fact, you guys don't need to sit here for this. I'm going to add to my Solana positions. I'm going to see you guys again in a few minutes. I'm going to be live on CTO license show. We're going to be doing a DCA. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow. That's it. See you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.